the easiest way to piss people off is to show them that they're under someone else's control, i.e. some degree of power is taken away from them, so they don't really have a free will. Greetings, this is Eugene the Philosopher, the greatest living philosopher after the unfortunate passing of Quentin Robert D. Nameland, who has been the greatest living philosopher before me. In this video, I wish to discuss how to piss a lot of people off. And of course, there are a lot of ways to piss a lot of people off. For example, you can walk around the streets of your city with a shotgun and shot any cat you see on the street, alright? That would piss a lot of people off, justifiably, I would say. But we're talking, we're, kind of an intellectual channel, or a pseudo-intellectual, if you wish. So we're talking about some more subtle, again, more intellectual, more classy ways to piss a lot of people off, alright? And I have a perfect option for you, actually. So my main point in this video would be that in order to piss a lot of people off, or to freak them out, if you wish, depending on your, whatever jargonism you prefer, is to demonstrate people that they don't have as much power as they think they do, right? So basically to deny them a bit of power that they think they have, or maybe a lot of power, actually, right? So to demonstrate to them, basically, that they are under someone else's control. That would be another way to put it. So, yeah, there you go. Everything is will to power, as we've discussed multiple times, right? So, to demonstrate to people that they lack certain agency in their lives, maybe in something very important they do or want to do, or blah, blah, blah. To demonstrate to them that they're basically robots, if you know what I mean. That they're not subjects, but rather they're objects, which is kind of ironic in the sense of the word object literally means something that objects, and hell, people would object when you show to them that they're more objects than subjects, right? That they're more things that are being acted upon rather than people who actually act upon of their own free volition, or whatever is the expression, right? So, yeah, people would turn into objects, and therefore they would object to you claiming that they're objects, right? So that would piss them off. So this is what we're talking about here. So if someone shows that they understand people, or even without air quotes, understand people, and lay it out, so how people work, so to speak, then people would start objecting to this. They would say, no, we're not like this. What are you talking about? We're not robots. We can't be understood, which is, again, another ironic thing in this video where, some people claim, oh, I wish, somebody just understood me. No, you don't. You would hate being understood, because when you're understood, it means, you're like a black box, with a very clear input-output relationship. So you're basically an object. You're something that can be easily manipulated. You're like an on-off switch, that somebody can just switch on their own, again, of their own volition, or whatever is the expression. So yeah, people don't really want to be understood. It's one of these hypocrisies, this expression, really. Examples, right? Women's issues. And I'll give you even two examples here. So one is pickup artists. So, and this whole red pill kind of community, etc., who claim that they've kind of understood women. And women's reaction to this, they get pissed off. Because, again, women feel, okay, somebody is actually trying to understand how we actually work, trying to actually understand us, in the sense we've just discussed. Well, you better not, we don't want to be understood. No, thank you. We want to have our own free will. We don't want to turn into objects. We're objecting to being objectified, actually. Look at this. We have plenty of ways to play with these words, all right? And the second aspect of women's issues is, again, as the red pill community, by the way, claims, is that the main power of women in society is their control of procreation, access to fun and giving birth to children. So women would love retaining control of all of this sphere, right? And so if you, for example, if you ban abortions, right, then women lose a lot of control over this sphere, which is, again, according to the red pill people at the very least, is their only domain, so to speak, in society, the true domains, at least, right? So they would get pissed off, right? If you take a bit of control, if you kind of restrict women's power in this sense, they would also get pissed off, and voila, that's what you see. I mean, abortion is one of the most contested issues in politics. Well, for many reasons. Well, one of the reasons is that it pisses people, especially women, really off really quickly, because it demonstrates to them that the power they have can be easily withdrawn from them with the simple legislation act. All right. Then astrology, another example. So what it means is, like, if an astrologer understands astrology, they supposedly have some actually significant control over people, because, again, an astrologist understands people, and therefore these people become almost robots. Right? And people don't like being robots. They get pissed off at it, as we've just discussed, as what is the main point of this video, right? So another example. That's why a lot of people hate astrology, because, again, it makes people predictable, and people don't want to be predictable. We're not robots. We have free will, etc., etc. Like, we're not discussing whether astrology really works or not. It actually kind of does, but whatever. It doesn't matter for the sake of this discussion. It's just that what I'm saying is, again, outlining this scheme that tells people, hey guys, you are being, or could be at least, controlled or manipulated or understood, right, pisses them off really quickly. And this is the point of this video. Then we have religion, right? So people say, okay, we know there is a God, or gods, plural, whatever you prefer, spirits or demons, who actually have a lot of power, and they actually kind of can influence you specifically, like whoever you are. And you specifically, whoever you are, may disagree with this. You may say, well, no thank you, I don't want to be influenced by gods or spirits or whatever. So please don't. Please shut up. Like, no. I don't want to be understood by your God. I don't want your God to look into my soul, etc., etc. Because, again, it makes me kind of not a completely free-willed individual. It makes me into a thing, actually, right? Because if God is so much stronger than I am, then I'm kind of useless in some sense. Of course, Christianity kind of tries to transcend this, and again, the whole concept of free will kind of came out of Christianity in the first place, but that's a separate discussion. Hopefully you can see the point that I'm making in this video, that, again, relieving people of their power makes them pissed off, and the best way to relieve them of their power is to show them that they're almost like robots, that they're really easily controlled by something or someone, like God, for example. Then we have psychology, or psychoanalysis in particular. So once again, if you come up with a hypothesis, a model, a theory, a concept, some sort of psychological framework where you say, okay, people operate this way. So basically, again, people are these on-off switches, right? That can be, like puppets where the strings can be pulled, etc. People don't like this, so that's why a lot of people hate psychologists, psychoanalysts, etc. A lot of people claim that it is a pseudoscience, and they're fighting against it, supposedly on scientific grounds, etc., etc., etc. So once again, the same pattern repeats. Then we have propaganda, just like, kind of like a political emanation of psychology, if you wish, where, again, you can show how people are being easily manipulated by, let's say, the government, media, by, let's say, advertisement, by things like that, right? And again, people would hate you for showing that, because, like, people don't like this feeling that power is being taken away from them. It's literally suffering, at least, again, in this Nietzsche concept of will to power. Then my recent video about ad hominem, where I kind of claim that you behave like a robot, so you have a kind of a type of a person, right? And even more so, I come as far as to claim that your type can be actually read from how you look and how you behave, and that pisses people really quickly. Like, you can look at the comments under that video. It's really fascinating. So I'm kind of, in this video, I'm kind of generalizing my reflections upon that video, upon my video about astrology, upon my on my videos about women, etc., etc. So yeah. So hopefully you can see the pattern here. Essentially, yeah, when people are afraid that they're losing power, that you or someone else has power over them, if you wish, well, this fear is an easy way to hate, right? Just like in Star Wars, fear is well, from fear comes hate, essentially, right? Fear is the path to hate, and they will hate you. And this is the answer to the question I've asked at the very beginning of this video: how to piss people off, how to make them hate you without killing cats on the street. And that's how you do it. You show people that they're being easily controlled, that you understand them, or even without air quotes. So, like, if those things you would claim, like, the only kind of gateway here to be really hated is that people have to believe that on some level you might be true, and that would make them really afraid, and then they would hate you, right? Because if these things aren't true, or people aren't believing, like, let's say your theory is so ridiculous, like nobody believes it really, then people wouldn't object to your theory so much, right? So they wouldn't hate you. They would just think you're stupid, right? Or something to this effect. They wouldn't listen to you and wouldn't hate you. So anyways, the basic power dynamic here in what we're discussing is that you can't really hate someone that has no influence over you, right? So if you are not a danger to people, i.e. you're not influencing them in any way, they wouldn't hate you. At best, they can be annoyed by you or at you. I don't know the proper construct here. But you can see that some people are really passionate. With the examples I gave you above, like, they actually hate this dynamic. They do feel that their agency is under threat, that they're becoming objects, and they start objecting, right? All these raging atheists, all these skeptics. I'm planning to make a video about skepticism very soon, and I'm gonna apply skepticism to scientific method. Who could have thought you can do that, right? Well, somehow nobody does this, and I think it has to be done. All right? And other people like this that fight astrology, that fight homeopathy, that fight whatever else they deem necessary to, because again, on some level they're afraid that these things could be true, and with their current worldview, like, these things are incompatible, even though I've said science is not a worldview, so their worldview is something else, actually. Watch the link in the description for all of the videos I mentioned here, really. So anyways, to conclude, the easiest way to piss people off is to show them that they're under someone else's control, i.e. some degree of power is taken away from them, so they don't really have a free will, etc., etc., etc. Thank you for watching. The eons are closing. If you wish to support me, please consider joining my Patreon. That is patreon.com/philosopher. See the link in the description. Or if you have a scientific theory of your own and you'd like my help in developing it, please join my alternative science coaching program, also available through Patreon.